It's a new week, and before I start my work, I'll try to add a new capability to my little project. So far, the program starts with creating empty list of movies, and I intend to use dictionary as my movies list element. So a bunch of functions that already work. Let's go back down to the code. So as of right now, we just add the movie, which is going to ask user for input, create a dictionary and append to movie list, but nothing is being saved. And at the very end, we're just displaying that information. Oh, that's wrong. It should be for each element. So I need to print. Yeah, that's correct. For each element, key and value in the dictionary, we're going to print key, which is 14 character in length, and the value. And for each element, we're going to print that at the very end. I want to add two things. So what I need in my code is open collection. I'll create this in a second. Open collection function is going to try to determine whether the JSON file already exists on the hard disk and contains some information. If it doesn't, it should create one and populate the empty list into it. So the next time we run the program, it opens whatever is the content. It should be populated into the taken out of this file and populated into the movies list. Finally, we will be asking the user. So once it's opened and we already have a list of movies inside our movies list, we're going to add new movies, and then we should be saving. So save collection. The current, we should be saving the collection back into the JSON file, so the next time we open, we can actually read this again and maybe add new movies to the collection. So let's add open collection. I'm going to copy the name so I don't make any typos there. Let me go to the very top of my file, and I'm going to create a new function which will take no arguments. Empty parentheses indicate that. The doc string should say open or create JSON file for movie collection. So that is going to be my doc string. Now, I'm going to need to open to try to find out if there's a file, JSON file with a DB movie collection already there. So what I'm going to do is the following command with open file, and I'll call it DB, let's say movie collection. JSON is my extension. This file, if it exists, I should read this. So I'm going to open this with the read permissions as file pointer. This is just the name, could be any name at all. Inside which we'll need to indent now because we have a colon there. The body of the function will have this. Let's create a variable. Let's assume that the file contains a list of dictionaries. So current movie is going to be my variable name. And I need to basically dump or read this file and place the content of that file into this current movie variable. So I'm going to say JSON load what is in this object representing the file. If that's the case, the content of the file is now stored inside the current movie. So that's going to be basically a list of dictionaries, which we need to add to our movies over here. How do we do that? For movie in current movies, which is the list read from the file, maybe we should make it plural, current movies. For movie in current movies, indentation, and we'll say append, movies, which is our list over here. For movies append. So into the list movies, append each movie found in the list read from the file. Append movie. So we in this list we read every movie in that list and we append to our movies list over here. Now this is going to work only if the file exists. So we need to have a way out if the file doesn't exist. We need to create one. So the way it's done is with a try keyword. But then we need to indent everything here because try has a colon there. So now insert tabulator. So we will try to open this file if it exists. If that's the case, we append all the movies from the file into the movies list. But if it file doesn't exist, program raises an exception. If that's the case, the exception it is raised is called file not found error. If that is the case, we need to create a file. The difference will be we need to create this with write permission, and with that we will append, so we will have a JSON dump. We will create a file and we will dump what is currently kept in the movie list. Initially, the first time we run it, it's empty. That's fine, but it's going to be at least, you know, some content. The file will be created, and we will say dump movies list into the file that is represented with this fp file pointer I created when I opened the file. So this is not going to work just yet. In order to even do all this JSON opening and so on and so forth, at the very top, it should be the first lines in our program, we need to import JSON module, without which it's not going to be possible. So once the program runs, let's just go back, save it, go back down the bottom and see. Once we open the collection, the system is going to check, okay, we call the function open collection, we try to open the file, if it exists, read the content, and if there's a content in it, apply or append to the movies list here. If it doesn't exist, create one with a write permission and dump into the file what is currently in the movies, even if it's empty list. The second command, in my program is going to add movie, which already works because we've done this so far. And once I'm done, I say no to adding the next movie into my collection. I should save the collection. So now this function is currently missing. We need to create one. So save collection. Define save underscore collection. And like in my code, the function does not take argument. Save current movie list into the JSON file. So I'm going to have the same commands. I need to open the file first before I dump anything into it. And what I'm going to say now, once the file is opened, it should be with the write permission. JSON module will dump the movie list that contains now what I've added to it into the file I just opened, and that should do the trick. Save the file and let's try to run the code now. Python 3 movie collection. So far so good. Is asking me for the first movie. Let's go Alien. The file wasn't there, by the way. I didn't have a file, I removed it. Alien, and director is Ridley Scott. Year 1979, parent rating R, length 157 hours, genre it's horror and sci-fi. Do you want to add another movie? For now, I won't. I'll say no. So what should happen now at the very bottom? The movie should be added to the list, added to the file. I'll basically display what I've created. Okay, I made a typo here, horror, but that's fine. I'm testing this for now. Cat DB collection, and there we go. Oh, let's just actually correct that maybe by hand. DB should be horror. Okay, so I have a file, but this file should not disappear if I run the code one more time trying to add another movie. So let's run the code one more time, providing following information. Movie title, let's go for The Terminator. Director James Cameron. Year 1984. Adults 147 minutes. And it's going to be action, sci-fi. Do you want another movie? No. Voila. So it read the file first, added the movie I just typed in, and saved, hopefully, in the file. It read all of it, all the movies list. But let's see. Cats DB collection. Do I have 2 movies in there? And sure enough, I have title here, first dictionary, comma, next element of the list, Terminator. Voila, it did work.